Hey, this is Rick Kasalj, injury specialist from exercisesforinjuries.com. In today's video, I wanted to go through the must-do sore shoulder exercises. And I'll get Jenna to demonstrate the first one, then I'll go through it in detail and I'll show you the other three. So there you go. It ends up being arm on the wall stretch. So what Jenna's doing is she has her hand in behind her body at a height below her shoulder. She's rotating away from the wall and looking for a stretch in the front of the shoulder. So Jenna, if I'll get you over here and we'll pretend that I'm the wall. So what she's doing, I'm the wall and she's rotating away from the wall and she's looking for a light stretch in the front of the shoulder area. Perfect. Now when it comes to sets, reps, time, and intensity, sets end up being 1, your repetitions end up being 2, and what I would end up doing is alternating it on both sides. Now you might not have sore shoulders on both sides, just one side, but I still recommend doing it on the other side more as a shoulder health exercise or a preventative exercise. When it comes to time and intensity, time, 20-second hold, and you're looking for a light stretch. We're not trying to rip apart the muscle. Now, when it comes to height, the higher you end up having your arm, it ends up leading to more, compression in that shoulder. So you can end up lowering that arm to the point that you end up that is comfortable for you. And when it comes to the tightness in the front of the shoulder, a lot of times that tightness in the front of the shoulder ends up moving that shoulder forward, and that ends up leading to the shoulder pain and shoulder irritation. So that's what we're trying to reverse, and that's what we do with this first exercise. Now we'll end up going through the second exercise, which ends up being setting the shoulders. Good, there we go. It's a really simple exercise. So what Jenna's doing is just shrugging the shoulders up a bit, rolling back, tightening that mid-back area, and then holding that position. Good. And then what I'll get you to do, Jenna, I'll get you to face this way. Good. Well, so I'll go like this so they can see in the camera. And then so she's shrugging up and coming back and tightening up that mid-back area. Holding it for a few seconds and then relaxing. Now with this one, sets, reps, time, and intensity. Sets end up being 1. Repetitions, I would end up doing 5. Time ends up being smooth controlled movement with a good hold at the end. I would say 2 to 5 second hold, and the intensity ends up being light. Now this exercise, what we're doing is we're kind of compounding the help from the first one. So the first one, we worked on loosening up that front of the shoulder. Now we're working on putting that shoulder into a good position, and both of those end up helping when it comes to sore shoulders. Now moving on to the third exercise, this ends up being wall push-ups. So you got the hands against the wall, and then you're going into a push-up movement. Perfect. Now one thing I watch when it comes to the push-up is I want the elbow to be at 45. So the elbow towards the body's at a 45-degree angle. The elbows aren't high, and you're going through that push-up movement. So putting your weight through your hands and activating those shoulder blade muscles just like what you did with the exercise before. And then also going through that movement just adds more of a challenge through those shoulder blade muscles. Plus you also end up working throughout the core, and there ends up being a correlation of core weakness and sore shoulders. Now, when it comes to sets, reps, time, and intensity, so we're looking at 1 set. Repetitions start off with 5 repetitions. Time ends up being smooth, controlled movement with a quick stop at the start and end position. And the intensity ends up being light. We're looking mainly to work on those shoulder blade muscles and the core abdominal area. We're not looking really for an upper body exercise because we're trying to work on putting that shoulder in a good position and addressing those sore shoulders. Now the fourth and last one ends up being vertical hanging exercise. Good, you bring the arms right overhead, you're going to find a door frame, and then you're going to bend through the knees and you're going to kind of stretch out those shoulders, that shoulder area. Now you can end up using a door frame. Watch it. You don't want to rip the door frame down, or you can end up utilizing something that you can end up hanging from. If you're in a gym setting, a squat rack ends up working well, or like a pull-up bar. perfect. Now, if you can't reach all the way up or bring your arms all the way overhead, what you can end up doing is reach to whatever point you can, as Jen has done, and then you just bend through the knees and bring the arms up until that's pain-free, or to a point where you're feeling a light stretch in that shoulder. Perfect. And when it comes to sets, reps, and time and intensity, sets end up being 1 repetition. I would end up going through 5 repetitions. Time ends up being, I would start off with 5 seconds, and the intensity ends up being light. We're looking at stretching, loosening up that shoulder area. And with this one, give it a go, give 5 repetitions a go, see how it ends up feeling. And if it ends up feeling good, then you can end up progressing the hold. Instead of from 5 seconds, you can end up progressing to 10 seconds. So there you go. That ends up being, the 4 exercises that you should do if you have sore shoulders. Now, if you want some of my other tips and tricks when it comes to overcoming shoulder pain and tightness, then what I recommend you do is click right here. I have a brand new free report called 5 Tricks That Fight Shoulder Pain and Tightness. Just click right here. Let me know where to send that brand new free report, and I'll send you that brand new free report right away. Now, if you're watching this on a mobile device, tablet, smartphone, head down below into the description and click the first link, which will end up being exercisesforinjuries.com/shoulders. Let me know where to send that report, and I'll send you that report right away. Now, if you have a question or comment for me, leave it down below in the comments section. If you got benefit from this video, make sure to like this video. And lastly, hit subscribe in order to get future pain relieving videos.